If you have an unlimited budget to spend on AI, you probably shouldn't watch this video. If you don't like saving money, you should probably not watch this video. But if you are like me and probably a lot of people and you want to save money on your AI applications, this video is for you. Today we're going to talk about prompt caching, and this is a technique where we can cache certain aspects of our prompts that we are sending to large language models in order to save a little bit of money. We're going to go through what prompt caching is. We'll also build out a Spring AI application and show you how to use prompt caching in that app. So I'm going to switch over to my screen here, and I have a little diagram and I want to walk through it. So we have this idea of the context window, and different things get put into the context window. We have this idea of a system rule or a system message. These are your overall context of your conversation. They also allow us to put in some guardrails against what is being able to be asked. And this kind of sits on top of the conversation that is going on in the context window. Then we have our user prompt, which is kind of our question, right? We ask a question to the LLM, and then we get a response back, which is the assistant message. We also have this idea of tools that the tool name, the definition, the schema, those things get put into the context window as well. So when we send in a message and we get a response back, the next time that we do this, the user question is probably different and the response is probably different. So that back and forth keeps getting added to the context window. Those are things that don't really get cached. What we can cache are things like the system message or tools. So think about it from a system message perspective. You probably have this long system message that defines the overall context of what these conversations are about. Maybe you have some guardrails in place. These can be very long, but they don't change on every request. They're usually the same, and then the user question basically changes on every request. So what we can do is we can cache something like the system prompt. So we have down here this example, request 1, the system prompt comes in, the user question comes in, and we say, hey, we want to go ahead and cache that. The next time we have a request, instead of reading in that prompt new, that system prompt, we can do a cache version of that. We can use a cache hit. Basically, the user question to only this part incurs the full cost. If you go out and look at like API pricing, you'll see some pricing around the input. So 1 million tokens per input, 1 million tokens per output. Here are the price for that. There'll also be a price for some type of cache, and that is usually significantly cheaper. So we want to be able to take advantage of that. There is a really great article over on the Spring AI blog for prompt caching support in Spring AI with Anthropic Claude. There is support for other models out there. You can go ahead. I think he has a similar article on like Amazon Bedrock. And it goes in here and it says, large language API costs can accumulate quickly when applications repeatedly send the same prompt context. A typical scenario, you're building a document analyzer that includes a 3,000 token document in every request. 5 questions about that document means processing 15,000 tokens of identical content at a full price. Anthropic's prompt caching addresses this by allowing you to reuse previously processed prompt segments. Spring AI provides comprehensive support through strategic caching patterns that handle cache breakpoint placement and manage it automatically. So this blog post goes into the problem that we just talked about and how to go ahead and solve it. You also notice that, again, this is only for specific large language models and for specific models. If you go in here, you can see the models that are supported here on the Anthropic side and the savings that you'll get. So something like Claude Sonnet 4.5, you can see a 90% savings. And I don't know about you, I like saving some money, especially when I don't need to send this same kind of content every single time. We are going to go through this today. I have a repository with the code that we're going to go through. You can go ahead and check this out later. But to get started, we're going to head over to start.spring.io. We're going to create a new project. I'm going to say dev.danvega. We'll call this PC for prompt caching. I'm going to use JDK 25. I'm going to build a web app here, and I'll also include Anthropic Claude, and that's really all we need to get started. From there, I can go ahead and click generate. This will download a zip file. You can open up in whatever text editor or IDE you're most efficient in. For me, that's going to be IntelliJ. We have what we need. Let's write some code. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is come into application.yaml. I'm going to paste in my Anthropic API key. You could hard code this in here, but you probably want to externalize this to some type of environment variable so this doesn't get checked in and leak your credentials. The next thing I'm going to, oops, I think I made a mistake there. Yeah, let's do that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a system prompt. And I could do this in the class itself using multi-line strings, but I'm just going to create a new file here. I'm going to call this system prompt, and we'll just make this a text file. And I'm going to go ahead and copy this over. And this is what we're going to use for our system prompt. It's pretty long. Now, in that article that I mentioned, there are some minimum requirements on this. So if I just had like 100 tokens, that won't meet the minimum requirements. So I have a pretty long system prompt here that I'm going to cache. And this is for an application I'm working on to manage my content. Once I'm done with a video, I go ahead and use this to generate some social posts announcing the video. And so I'm using this as kind of my system prompt, and we'll use this in our application today. And you can go ahead and grab that from the repo or just come up with your own system prompt. So I'm going to start by creating a chat controller, and we're going to mark this with @REST-controller. I'm also going to need a chat client. I have a little keyboard shortcut there to bring in a chat client. So we have a chat client now. I'm also going to need a system prompt. So I'm going to say private final string. We'll call this system prompt, right? And we need access to this. So I'm going to say we are going to get this from using the @value annotation. And I'm basically going to say this is on the class path. And you can find this at system-prompt.txt. This is going to be a resource. So resource, if we can spell it right, Dan, that is coming from Spring. Let's see, why did I do that? So this is a resource, and we'll call this the system prompt resource, and that should give us what we need. So once we have the chat client, I'm going to say this dot system prompt is equal to system prompt resource dot get contents as string. We'll use the UTF-8 character set, and then we'll just need one thing here, which is add an exception, and now we should be good. So now we've basically set up our chat client and our system prompt. We can go ahead and create a method. So this is just going to be at the root, and this is going to return a string. So we'll play public string chat, and let's just satisfy this for now, and we'll come back to that. So the first thing we're going to do is set up some chat options because we want to take advantage of prompt caching here. So again, this is going to be on a model per model basis, but what we're going to do is use the Anthropic chat options. So there it is, and we'll use the builder that comes with it. This builder will allow us to set up a couple of things. One, we can set up the model. So we can say Anthropic, let's use Claude Sonnet 4.5. We can go ahead and set up our cache options now. This is defining like how do we want to approach caching in this application. We want to use the Anthropic cache options. So builder.build, but I also want to go ahead and set a strategy. So how are we going to define what we're going to cache in this application? So we can say Anthropic cache strategy. We have none. We can cache our conversation history. We can say system only, system and tools, tools only. In this case, I want to cache that system message. So that should give us what we want there. And then from there, we can build an instance of our chat options. So now that we have some chat options, yes, nope. Sorry, let's do that again. Chat options, yes. Now that I have some chat options, I can go ahead and do that, use that. So I'm also going to set up a user prompt here. And this user prompt is going to take advantage of what is in this system prompt. In this system prompt, I say you may receive one or more of the following: a video title, a description, a URL, a transcript. I usually pass in like the description, title, and transcript along with any of the code I have associated with that video to generate my social posts. So I'm going to create a user prompt here that says, we're going to generate platform-specific posts for X, Blue Sky, and LinkedIn. Here's the information that we want to go ahead and pass in. So the way that we do this is we're going to use that chat client. So I'll say chat client, right? We're going to prompt it. We are going to pass in a user message, but this is not going to be just a string. You see, you can pass a string in, a resource. You can pass in a consumer prompt, which is a prompt user spec. And that's actually what we want to do, because from there, we can go ahead and pass some things in, like the user prompt, the parameters, etc. So I'm going to say you, and that will be that. So now what I can do in here is I can say u.text. Oops. So now I could say u.text, and the text that we're going to pass in is the user prompt. And then I can go ahead and set some parameters. I'm just going to go ahead and paste some in so we have them. Here's the title, the URL, and the description of what we're kind of passing into this user prompt. So all I'm doing is setting up some information so that our system prompt has access to the information that we're basically customizing for this particular one. So from there, I'm going to make a blocking call, and then I'm going to get a chat response back. So if you aren't aware, you can basically call .content to get the actual response back, but I'm going to get the chat response back because it has some more metadata in it. And that metadata will allow me to do a couple of things. From that metadata, I can do something like this, which is response. And I can say, hey, from that metadata, get the usage and then get the native usage. So we're casting this through to an Anthropic API.usage, which will return this usage. In this Anthropic API.usage, if we take a look in it, we can see things like input and output tokens, but we also have these cache creation input tokens and cache read input tokens. And so what I want to do is say if usage is not null, go ahead and output these. So the idea here is that on the first pass, we're going to see the cache creation of this, right? So whatever the system message tokens are, we're going to create that cache. The cache read on the first input will be 0 because we haven't read from the cache yet. But on the second message that we send in, it will go ahead and cache that system message, and we'll read from that instead of having to load that in as basically a new prompt every single time. So once I do that, I can say, okay, the response, I want to get the result, and I want to get the output, and I want to get the text of that output. And that will return the, no, that's okay. I will get the text of that, and that will return the string, which we are looking for. This will basically be the 3 generated social platform posts for this particular video. All right, so now that we have that, I want to go ahead and run this application. What we want to do is send a request to localhost 8080, because this is a request controller or a REST controller. And then we want to just hit localhost 8080/, which is the root. So from here, I'm going to use a little terminal tool called HTTPy. You could do this with curl. Because this is a GET request, you can go in the browser and do this as well. But I think this will work just fine. So I'm going to send this. After a couple seconds here, we'll get a response for a different social media posts for each platform. And then we can go ahead and take a look at some. So this is not really the interesting part. The interesting part is in the console, we should see this information. So if we go over here, we see the cache creation was 0, the cache read was 0. which tells me that we have made a mistake somewhere. The one thing we forgot to do is here in our chat client, we send in a user prompt, but we don't send in a system prompt. So here I want to say system, and then we can go ahead and set that system. We are also not passing in our options. So I want to pass in those chat options that we created above, and now this should go ahead and work. Let's go ahead and stop and rerun this. We'll go back to our terminal. We'll go ahead and send this. And if we go back to our console now, you'll see the cache creation was 1,421 tokens. The cache read was 0 because on the first pass, we're not going to do that. So I'm going to run this one more time. And now what we should see is we're reading from the cache instead of sending those 1,500 tokens every single time. So we go back to our console here. And now we see the cache creation was 0. We didn't need to write anything to the cache because it was the same. Instead of reading that every single time, that is now cached using prompt caching instead of just sending that every single time. So we have our system prompt here. We have to make sure we pass in these chat options. Again, this will be different for different models. If you're using something like Bedrock, you'll set up the chat options for that specific large language model, but they all should look pretty similar, including something like the strategy for doing so. So that is my demo for using prompt caching. So as I said at the beginning, if you do not like saving money or you just have unlimited AI budgets, then this video probably isn't for you. But for most of us, if we want to go ahead and save some money on our requests, especially, wow, this is in a big application that has high throughput, this is going to be huge. I mean, just really, really big. Because a lot of the times we are using these system level messages, we are using these tools, and these things don't change. Like, they are the same. The only thing that changes is that user request and the response that we get back. So I hope you found this interesting and valuable, and I hope you go ahead and implement this right away and save some big dollars. This is really easy to do in Spring AI. Hope you saw that today. We were able to kind of implement this pretty quickly. But friends, I like putting this stuff together. I like kind of teaching you some new tricks. If you learned a new trick today and you had some fun doing so, do me a big favor. Leave me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and as always, happy coding.